Welcome to Hear Me Out. My name's Ariana.
And I'm Callie, and
We're the
co-hosts.
co-hosts. Today we'll be interviewing Fireman Andy.
Yes, thank you for having me today.
So, today we're going to be talking about your job and how you spread out in the community.
Absolutely, I love my job. First and foremost, I'm a firefighter paramedic, but now I'm the deputy chief and the CRR, Community Risk Reduction. So I do many things in the community, such as right here at the Boys and Girls Club. We come over here, maybe play basketball with you folks. We also have a summer program where we bring our tower truck and let you guys run under the water truck. Them are just some small things I do. I also put smoke alarms in people's homes, help install car seats, and again, I go to the local schools to teach fire prevention. So I'm very active in our community.
So, how many sports do you think you've played with kids in the community?
Oh man, lots of different sports. Soccer, and we just did volleyball, and I've been over here for basketball, and I love hockey. So yes, anytime I can interact with our area youth, it's a joyous time.
What do you do for the community?
What do I do? Well, like I talked about earlier, I teach fire prevention. I'm also on a couple different boards in the community, such as the Sunrise Center Board right over there and the Senior Citizens Board. And when I was younger, I used to teach or coach baseball, soccer, and hockey. All part of my kids' sports teams.
I used to play hockey.
Awesome. I still do. Love it. I may be 51 years old, but I'm never quitting playing hockey. And now my new sport is pickleball.
I tried that. It was fun. I think you should try gymnastics.
I'm not going to try gymnastics.
You should try
But-
figure skating.
My daughter is a good figure skater, and she teaches Learn to Skate, Addison Marceau, and my wife does own a dance studio. So I've been to lots of dance recitals to watch my daughter dance. So, and then my son still plays hockey, so I'm very active with that stuff.
How many times a year do you think you've put out a fire? How many fires?
Well, we don't put out as many fires as we once did. So, last year we had 3 major structure fires. One was at a residential fire at a person's house, actually was a firefighter. The other one was an arson fire that somebody set. And then the third fire was just about a month ago over on the north side. It was in a rental program. So why we don't have as many fires is we have people like building codes and construction codes, and we have a rental inspector. And also, I am very active in trying to prevent fires by teaching you youth how to be fire safe kids and our elderly, and just trying to make good decisions, if that makes sense.
Do you think, how many times do you go to schools and talk about fires?
A lot in October, because that's Fire Prevention Month. But again, I was just at Lincoln Elementary yesterday to read, because March is Reading Month. I'm sure you guys all are aware of that. Even what grade are you girls in?
6th.
6th. So are they still doing March is Reading Month at the junior high?
No.
No. Okay, that's more of a elementary thing. But when I was at Lincoln yesterday, I was over there, and I have to teach fire safety everywhere I go. I got to make sure everybody knows what number you call. What number do you call, girls?
911.
And how many ways out do we want out of every room?
A lot.
2. And how do we check the door to see if it's hot?
With the back of your hand.
Back of our hand. And we do one major thing at night we do with our door. What should we do with our bedroom door? Close it. It's called close before you doze. See, I just can't stop teaching because I want everybody to be safe.
So do you put in smoke alarms a lot?
I do put smoke alarms a lot because I am able to do it for free. And there's not much in this world you can get for free. But our governor has gave $1 million to the fire departments across the state to put in smoke alarms. So I get them from the state of Michigan, and I can go out and put them up. Absolutely free.
That's cool.
Now, do you girls know that I'm a paramedic too?
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
Am I like a nurse?
No.
No. Am I a doctor?
No.
No. But I'm right in between. So there's things that as a paramedic that I can do that a nurse can't. And obviously I can't do as much as a doctor. But did you know that I could put a tube into somebody's lungs and breathe for them?
Yep.
How about if somebody were taking a bad drug and overdose, I could give them Narcan or naloxone and hopefully make sure they live. How about, do you girls think I could help deliver a baby?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's an emergency.
Exactly. And I've done that in my career about 3 times. So sometimes people don't make it. I mean, sometimes people die. But the good and the bad of the job is, unfortunately, if an older person has had a good life and we do everything we can, and unfortunately they pass, then sometimes we get to help bring a new baby into the world.
What if they have like a do not resuscitate, but like their family says like to?
That is a very sticky code. So they have a DNR, do not resuscitate, but now the family wants to change it. We work through that by communication. So we talk to their family and tell them your loved one, meaning your dad, mom, brother, sister, has made a choice, and we want to honor that. And it doesn't look like they're going to be able to come back with a cognitive level, meaning we want people to be like we are today, talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want people necessarily to be in a nursing home where they don't recognize their family. So we want people to still live. And if they don't, we communicate. And if they still want us to do everything, we will do whatever the family wants.
So do you does it have a bell or whatever in the fire department still go off when you do fire drills?
Yeah, the fire bell goes off. We don't do so many fire drills because we're constantly getting called for calls. You guys have any idea how many calls for fire or EMS we do in a day?
Too many.
Too many? So we average about 12 EMS calls a day. And give or take, we've ran about 4,500 EMS calls last year. So we are heavily geared towards EMS. Again, I only talked about 3 structure fires last year. So primarily about 97, 98% of our job is taking sick and injured people to the hospital. You know, it could be car accidents, it could be chest pain, lots and lots of people, elderly people primarily, falls.
So like, what is that process of like people falling and like calling?
So somebody has fallen in their house. Maybe they've hit Lifeline, which is a device they have usually around their neck or on their arm, and it alerts us that they've had a fall. So we get called that way. We get called by family. We get called by cell phones. And also, they can text 911. Many people don't know that you can text 911. It might take a little bit longer, but they can text in 911. So we get called, and we get alerted through our pager, and it tells us that somebody has fallen at such and such an address. We respond there with an ambulance with at least 2 people on it. Depending on where it's at in the county, we may have another township help us, or we may have first responders right from the city. So we can have up to 3 people on the call to help us. When we get to the call, we have to gain access to the home. So do they have a key? Is it unlocked? Or are we gonna have to, climb through a window like I've done many times throughout my career, or break a door down? It's just different. So then once we get into the house, we start asking lots of questions. Like, why did you fall? How did you fall? Did you hit your head? Do you have any head, neck, or back pain? We're trying to gather the story, right? Maybe they've been sick. Maybe they just tripped. Maybe they got dizzy. Maybe they got chest pain. There's so many other variables that happens. So once we determine that, we start rendering care and check their vitals, maybe start an IV, and then decide if we're going to need to take them to the hospital. So we then put them in the back of the ambulance, do some more evaluating of them, maybe look at their heart, and then we transport to my Michigan hospital. Depending on where the call happens, the shortest distance is usually a half hour, and the longest distance is probably an hour and a half call, depending where it's at. So it's a lengthy process, but you're not done there. We have to go back to the station and write a report to make sure that it follows the patient and for billing purposes. So it's important that we can able to communicate like I am here today, like we can read and write, like we can do English and math, and of course any anatomy and biology are also big subjects that we use on an everyday basis.
Has anyone ever accidentally called 911?
Oh, absolutely.
Accidentally pressed
Yep, we get a lot of those, believe it or not. They call and they don't realize they did, and it's called a welfare check, and we go over there and we go there. One time we got called and the lady didn't know it, we got there, it was in the middle of the night, so we had to bust her door down without breaking it down, and we went inside, and she's laying in bed with her shower cap over her head, sound asleep, and we had to go up and say, ma'am, are you okay? And we could see that she was breathing, but we scared the daylights out of her. But that happens, you know? We gotta make sure they're okay.
Do people ever like prank call but then like get in trouble for it?
Well, for example, people don't usually just do it. If you call 911, like if we called 911 right now and did a hang up, they're gonna call you back, right? And if we don't answer the phone and say, hey, we accidentally did it, won't be long and you're gonna have law enforcement out here. Because they're gonna know it came from the Boys and Girls Club. You're gonna probably get 3 police officers here going, what's going on? And then we'll say, well, someone did it. So it's not so much trouble, we would educate them, right? We don't want people to get in trouble, we want you to make sure, hey, that's an important number. You know, don't just call it for a joke, don't call it to order a pizza, don't call it because you two are playing games and joking around. What if it really is needed?
I've seen things like you mentioned, like ordering a pizza.
Yeah.
I've like heard people do that like because they're in danger.
I haven't heard that, but that very well could be. And that's why it's important to know that you can text 911. You girls probably all have cell phones and are able to do that. So if you had a situation, it's not just girls, it could be boys, right? It could be elderly, it could be anybody. If you text 911, they know you're texting for a reason. And they'll text you back. It might take an extra little second, but you can tell them an address or just help or whatever, and they will send help.
So what if somebody, like, let's say there's a house and they don't have like a cellular device in the house, so they can't contact you?
Well, just like we used to do, maybe some people don't have homes, go to your neighbor's house, right? And I get it, maybe you don't live in the city, but if you do, you can walk next door, you can walk across the street, or, you know, again, if you had a family or friend, you could get in a car and drive, but you gotta find that cell phone, you gotta get help coming if you need help. You girls have good questions.
Thank you.
So, do you like ever come to like the fire drills where, let's say school has fire drill, do you ever come there?
I sure do. So I go to the schools in the city. So I know you guys go to junior high because you told me you're 6th and 7th grader. That's outside the city. That's Alpena Township. But I go to fire drills at Alpena High School, Lincoln, Besser, Ella White, and I participate to make sure the kids understand how important it is to get out safe. And whatever we do at school, we want them to do it at home. So it's important to have a fire drill at home. You know, and I talked about having working smoke alarms, right? That's really important to have working smoke alarms. That gives you the time to get out safe. And what better deal? They're free.
How do you like install like smoke detector?
So first of all, I have to have the people contact me, right? And they can contact the City of Alpena Fire Department, ask for myself. Everybody knows where my office is. And I get their name and number, and I set up a time that works for them and their family. And I come out there and I look at their home and determine how many smoke alarms they need. They need one in every bedroom, one in every level of the home. So if they have a basement, one in the basement. If there's a bedroom in the basement, then that one gets a smoke alarm. One on the main level of the house, and then one upstairs, but one in every bedroom. And then we also want one of those smoke alarms to be called a combo alarm. Smoke alarm, carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is that colorless, odorless gas that nobody can smell. So we want to make sure everybody's safe. So that's how I do it. It's a program that I do all over Alpena County. If I don't do it here in the city, I ship it out to our county chiefs and they install them. So we have a great working relationship with everybody in our community.
Typically, when somebody pulls like a fire alarm, how many trucks do you typically send?
Well, if it's in the city, you're going to get a full entourage of everybody, and we can have anywhere from 7 to 9 people on duty at a time. So you're going to get at least 1 fire truck and probably 3 ambulances. Plus, if it's during the day, you're going to get me and the other chief. So you're going to get lots of us. And if it's not pulled for a reason, again, we're not trying to get somebody in trouble, but there's going to be some educating, right? I'm going to talk to that individual. Like I've done this before at the elementary schools. If a kid keeps pulling it, hey, that's important. You understand every time you do that, you're sending us out and we're gonna be running lights and sirens and we could hurt somebody? Or because we're running here, maybe somebody else is not getting the care, or maybe they're having a fire and we're already responding over here. So it's a juggling act.
Do you have to go to work like every single day?
So I do not now, because I've transitioned into this career or this job I've been at the city for 27 years. So my first 21 years, I worked 24 hours on and 48 hours off. So I only worked 10 days a month. And then about 6 years ago, I transitioned to a captain CRR, community risk. So I would go Monday through Friday primarily. But I'm always on call.
I used to go to Besser, and every time somebody pulled the fire alarm, there would be like 3 trucks, and everybody would start saying, "There's a real fire, we have to go sit home."
Well, you have to act like it's a real fire. I can tell you, when somebody pulls it, just like I joked here today, if I would pull it today, we have to evacuate. It doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, sunny, we have to go. You don't get to choose, and you never know when it's going to be real. So we act as if every alarm is real.
When somebody calls 911, does it like track what city they're in, or does it call every fire station?
Nope. So it goes into the central dispatch, 911. We don't get the call, and they start gathering information. And even though if you were to hang up or not give them the name, they get some information off the landline, and they can also triangulate it off a cell tower and get an area. So they can gather information that way, but they gather the information. If they can talk to you, they would ask you, what's your emergency? And that would tell them what they need, police, fire, or EMS. And then they would ask you, what is going on? What's the age of the patient? Is the patient awake, alert, unconscious? And then they would tone us out. They'd do that pager, they would send us, and we'd start going as they're still talking to the family or friends that are on scene. It's quite a process.
If there was one big piece of information you would like to leave with the community, what would it be?
I just wanted the community to be safe and have fun whatever they're doing. If they're at home or they're out enjoying our nature, think about what you're doing and be safe. So everybody continue to live long, a prosperous life.
Thank you for joining us and hearing me out. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Thanks for
Hear me
watching
out. Bye.
Bye.
And thank you.